Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. It is almost 7 o'clock, and we just want to say happy Wednesday to all of you on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon, evening. We hope you all had a wonderful day. You had a good day at work, on your job, or if you took the day off, however you chose to fill your day. We hope you had a good day and we hope you're having a great day. We are having a good day, an awesome day, and we are just so excited that you are going to join us for another session on taxes, money management, and things of this nature, how to continue to build your wealth and to build your finances and to just be more conducive to your lifestyle, how you're living, the things that you want to accomplish. And we are so grateful to all of you who will just join us for our live session. We want to take a few minutes just to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to God. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the people getting home safely. Thank you for just being with us. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for knowledge and understanding. We thank you for everything. So we're not going to be before you long. We're going to dive right on in. It is 7 o'clock p.m. and we do like to be on time. So tonight, this afternoon, we will be talking about money management. We're going to be talking about money management. And in the money management that we will be discussing on tonight, we want to know about your money habits. What type of money habits do you have, and how you need to build your wealth? Some of the things that you can do for yourself to build your wealth. And even though we're talking about money management, we're still talking about building wealth. This is even continue to build with your taxes and to continue to work with your taxes, because you have to, as you know, this is still tax season, and taxes we have until April the 15th. So we want to just help you build on your business and how to continue to pull things together so you can structure your taxes and be able to um, have good habits so you can continue to grow, because this is what we strive to do. We strive to grow and move forward. So tonight I just want to ask you a question, and one of the questions I want to ask you is, do you currently track your expenses? And if you do, how do you track your expenses? Some people, do you just pay from paycheck to paycheck? Do you just get your paycheck and you just pay out when you get the money? Or do you have like a ledger? Or do you have a tracking system? Some people use some type of apps that they use. Some people use QuickBooks. There's different ways that you can track your expenses. But the question that we want to ask this afternoon is, how are you keeping up with your expenses? And are you tracking your expenses, or do you just pay as you go? Once you get paid, you say, okay, I got paid this amount, so I'm gonna pay this, and this, which I hope you're not doing, because you need to have good budgeting habits. And one of the good budgeting habits is to have a great tracking system. Um, do you have a budget? A lot of us, I know with the economy, the way it is going, it may be difficult to stay within the budget, but do you have a budget? Some of us have a monthly budget, some of us have a weekly budget, and some of us have a bi-weekly budget. But how is your budget structured if you have created a budget? Now, if you haven't, then that's something that you need to look into. You need to look into not just getting paid and just paying things as you go, but you should know when it's time for you to be paid, what you have to pay, how much you have to pay, and when it is due. A lot of times we don't want to wait until the last minute to pay our bills. We want to pay them ahead of time. So we will not incur all these interest fees and all these late payments and all these types of things that will happen if we don't keep up with our finances. But tonight we do want to just go into a little bit of money management, and we want to just help you build good habits to build your wealth, to build your money wealth, to help you build and to help you save. And one of the things, as we've discussed, your budgeting. If you have a good budget system, we hope you do. If not, you need to. There's several apps out there that can teach you how to budget. My business does this as well. We would sit down with you, show you how to plan, how to budget, and how to even have a savings. A lot of us want to have a savings, but sometimes because we have so many things that we have to do, we're like, oh my goodness, by the time it's time for me to save, I don't have anything left. But you should have some type of savings. So you need to have something. You need to learn how to save something. And then even with your budgeting, you need to learn how to invest and have financial discipline. See, in order for you to be able to do these things, you're going to have to learn how to discipline yourself financially so you can have good money, wealth building habits. You want to control your money, not your money controlling you. So you want to make sure that is your income minus your expenses equals savings, because this is what your goal and your ultimate goal should be. It's not just to work, just to pay bills and just to be able to just say, okay, I can sit back and say my bills are paid. No, you should have some type of financial discipline where you not only are working, bringing in income, and you're also paying for your expenses, but you should also be saving something, even if it's just $5. See, the thing about it is we have to start somewhere, and we need to even start with our children. If our children see what we do, then when they get to our age, it will be very easy for them to just move forward. A lot of times I know back in the time when we were coming up, our parents weren't as financially blessed as we are. But because we're financially blessed, we need to be able to learn how to save, even learn how to spend other people's money. Because you don't always have to spend everything you have in the bank. You can save and spend other people's money and then let your money build the interest. You take the interest from your money to pay for the other people's money that you borrow. So these are things that you need to learn how to do. Here again, our business, we do that. We will even show you how to initiate this principle in your budgeting and in your savings. You should know where your money is going. You should be tracking your income and your expenses monthly. So if you get paid weekly or bi-weekly, so what I'm saying monthly is at the end of the month, you should be able to have your expenses, your income tracked that month. So however you pay your bills, that's good. But at the end of the month, you should have a tracking system where you can look and see what you did for that entire month. We also want to talk about in these expenses, because we're talking about taxes and because we're talking about business, that, with your business and with your money, you should have a separate bank account. A lot of us, we use our bank account. We're taught to use one bank account for everything. And that is not the way to go, not in this day and time. You should have a business bank account. You should have a personal bank account. You should have a bank account so when your business has business expenses and it's time for you to do your taxes and it's time for your taxes to be prepared, you will be able to go to that business bank account and everything you need is in that bank account. I shared with you about having a business credit card. Well, you use that one card for your business and business only. Then you don't have to have a whole lot of paperwork and a whole lot of paper trail because everything is as we can put it in one spot. Everything is all in one spot. Even if you have a ministry, even if you are a church, a pastor, you should have a dedicated credit card for you as being that minister that you should use if you're traveling, if you're making hotel reservations. Excuse me. My throat's a little dry. If you're traveling, if you're having hotel reservations, if you're going to conferences, if you're going to workshops, you as the pastor or the leader of that entity, of that ministry, you should have a designated credit card for that particular ministry. So when it's time for you to do your taxes, you shouldn't be scrambling trying to bring paperwork together. You should have one credit card for everything. And of course, if the church pays for your expenses, then those are expenses that you don't have to worry about because why? The church paid and you don't have to figure out, say, okay, well, how much did I pay? How much did the church pay? Did the church pay for this? Did the church pay for that? So you should have a dedicated credit card for you as being the pastor for your expenses for that entity. And at the end of the year, you should not have to have a whole lot of paper trail. This allows you to keep track of any type of payments, any type of gas for travel, any type of books, materials, anything that you do, then you have it all in one place. Now, even with your business and with your business account and with your business credit card, this allows, again, for you to keep track of any type of payments, any type of rents that you may pay, any type of supplies that you may buy. Maybe you have to have software or other business expenses. Any type of business expense that you swipe that card for, then you have everything you need. And then when it's tax time, you don't have to be all over the place trying to keep a tab on all these little receipts. Because as you know, these little receipts, they do fade. And then you have your own separate bank account. So now your expenses for your home and what have you, that's already separated. You don't have to worry about going out and separating the difference because it's already separated for you. And it makes life so much easier. It makes things so much easier. And it makes your work flow so much better. And when you take your information to your tax preparer, it just makes things flow. Oh my goodness. Yes, it does. Take it from me. It works. And it helps a whole lot. And then another thing while we're talking about church and taxes, we want to make sure that when you pay, make sure you pay your tithes. I know some of you say, well, you know, what is a tithe? A tithe is 10% of your gross earnings. Make sure you pay your tithe. Your tithe is 10% of your gross earnings. And you're not giving it to the church. You're not giving it to the pastor. You're giving it to the ministry. You're giving it back to God. And you're telling God, I trust you. I thank you for allowing me to be able to have something come in. So I'm going to give you a 10th of what you have given me. Then after that, I say pay who? Yourself. And that's a lot of times we don't do that. We will structure a business. We will structure a ministry, even in our 9-to-5 jobs. We pay everything, but we don't pay ourselves. And we need to learn how to pay our tithes, put something in savings, and have something for ourselves. Those are three things we need to learn how to do. Pay our tithes, put something in savings, and have something for ourselves. And then what you have left over, you learn how to structure that and structure it the correct way. And I promise you, if you do it the right way, your money will flow correctly. If you need help, if you need guidance, we offer that. We will be glad to sit down and talk with you, get with you with your finances, and show you how to structure your finances. We will hold your hand for 3, 6, 9 months. And hopefully by the end of 9 months, you should be able to just follow through. We are willing to even do this to help you because we want you to be great entrepreneurs. We want you to be great business planners. We want you to be great with your wealth and with your finances. And then we want you to also have an emergency debt. Everybody should have an emergency debt fund. Everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you make. You should have some type of emergency debt funding. So when you get paid, when you pay your tithes, put something in savings, pay yourself, an emergency debt funding, you could do it maybe once a month. That's all. And if it's two of you, then you can say, okay, well, this month we're going to take the emergency debt funding from my pay. Next month, we'll take the emergency debt funding from your pay. But as long as you're taking something, putting it up for emergency situations. Now, the way you can do this is you can structure, say, okay, well, you know what? We usually eat out. Instead of us eating out this time, we're going to take that same $30 that we would eat out with, and we're going to put it up for our emergency debt funding. Get yourself a little box. Cut a hole in it. Drop it in the box because this is something that you need to stay in your household. This is not something that you need to be in the bank because it's called an emergency fund. That means you should be able to get your hands on it. So if something happens at the bank or the bank is closed, you can't get your hands on it. So we're talking about emergency debt funding where you can get your hands on your money. You can reach and physically touch it. This is what we're talking about with your emergency funding. So you can have that debt that to come out of your, maybe your shopping, as I indicated, where you go for, say, for instance, you like to go to football games or you like to go, some of us we like to gamble. Some of us have different movie hubs like Hulu and Stars and Cinemax, ESPN. These are some things that we need to readjust to say, okay, well, maybe this month I'm going to make an adjustment. I'm going to keep Stars and I'm going to keep Hulu, but I'm going to let ESPN go. I'm not going to pay it this month. I'm going to use that money to put it in my emergency debt funding box because that's where you want it to be. It's a debt funding package that you're building for yourself. So you will always be able to put your hands on something because you want to be able to have some type of funding. And I called it emergency debt, but really it's not a debt because a debt, if we look at it, it's like something you owe. And I don't want you to think that you owe it because we're not looking at it as you owe it. So let's rename that to just emergency funding because we don't want you to look at it like, well, I owe myself a debt. No, you don't. This is an emergency funding that you are preparing for yourself for good financial management for your household, how to build good financial wealth just in case. So we're going to change that from emergency debt to we're going to say emergency funding money for you and your home. So And you want to avoid any unnecessary spending. Please try to avoid any unnecessary spending. And that's with anything. You know, a lot of us, we like to go out, we like to eat, and some of us go out and we eat on a regular basis. I bet you if you sat down and wrote down the money you spent on eating out, I'm sure a lot of you spend a lot of money with just eating out. Yes, groceries are very expensive. You're not getting a lot for your money. We understand that. But because of the economy and because of the way that things are structured in the economy, we're going to have to make those changes and adjustments for ourselves that fit our home and fits our budget. We're going to have to do that for ourselves because as you see, you go to the grocery store, you say, I have 5 bags and I spent $150 and I don't even know what I brought. Things have changed. Things are changing. And we have to implement those changes for ourselves so we can continue to grow where we need to grow with our finances and in our homes and to continue to build ourselves where we need to be also. You can also use credit cards. Now, I've been looking at YouTube at a lot of different channels, and I'm learning different ways about the use of credit cards. Some people say use credit cards. Some people say don't use credit cards. Some people say buy everything with a credit card. And my answer to that is it depends upon you as the individual. You need to decide what works for you because what may work for me may not work for you and what works for the other person. So you need to decide what is going to work for you. Take, for instance, today, I went and I had to get some repairs done to my vehicle. Well, I was planning to pay for the repairs. Actually, I went to get an oil change, to be honest with you. And upon getting the oil change, as you all know, when you go to the dealership, the oil change turns into a whole list of things. And they have this app now. So when you go in, you give them your information, and they send you a whole list of things on an app. And they tell you, this is wrong, that is wrong. Can we fix this? We need to fix that. We need to fix this. And you can either put check, a green check for yes or a red check for no. It wasn't that many things wrong, but some of the things were minor, like some brake fluid and, some, minor things. I'm like, no, the air filter, stuff like that. No, I don't want you to fix that because those are things, you can go to the store and you can fix those yourself. But one of the things I needed done was I had to have some brakes put on the back of my vehicle. And so I gave them permission to do so. Now, I started out, I was going to pay for it with my money. But however, they offered a credit where I could pay for it with a credit card with them. It was a soft pull. They approved me right away. And I had 90 days to 1 year to pay this money back. So I decided to say, okay, I'm going to use their money instead of my money. So I kept my money in my account. Now, here's the thing. I wanted to know, after 90 days, then the card or the payment accrues interest. However, you can pay it off before the interest is accrued after the 90 days. So if not, then of course you would pay the interest. So a lot of times you have to structure yourself and set yourself up to be able to afford things where you can say, all right, I'm going to give myself this 90-day leverage, even though I have the money here. But I'm going to use somebody else's money because I'm going to take my money and invest it over here. And the investment, I'm going to use some of that to pay this. And that's what I decided to do. So I decided to use their credit and pay for the expenses on the vehicle. And then after the 90 days, I can either pay it off or I can use a method called Flip It. Now, the Flip It method is where you go and you can find different avenues of paying interest with no interest fee. Of course, you have to stay on top of what you're doing, because even with the Flip It method, if you're not on top of your finances, on top of what you're doing, then you can really get things all mixed up. So understanding your finances, understanding how to pay your bills, understanding the different ways to pay your bills, this is all in what you need to know and learn. And if you have a handle on this, then that is a very good thing. If you don't, we can show you, we can help you, we can even build a platform for you. Another thing, we're always taught to pay our credit cards, to pay the smaller card first. However, if the smaller card has a small interest rate and the larger card with the bigger amount has a large interest rate, then what you do is you pay the larger card down first, because that small interest rate, you can pay that minimum small payment, because why? The interest rate is so small. But with that larger interest rate, that's what you want to knock down. You want to get that out the way and move that. We can teach you how to even pay your credit cards off before it's time for them to expire. And what I mean by expire is every month, if you have credit or you've used your credit card, my motto is use it and pay it. Use it and pay it. Not always, all the time, are we able to do that. That's why we have business accounts. That's why we have business funding. That's why we can go get business loans. See, a lot of times we have to learn how to set ourselves up. And in order to set yourselves up and then allow your business and allow your budget and your funding and your money to flow, everything hinges off of good business management and good money orchestration. You can make all the money in the world, but if you don't know how to manage your money, whether it's in a business, whether it's with the ministry, whether it's just living from your household expenses, living from day to day, it does not matter. The bottom line is you need to have good money management. You need to have good financial investment tools. You need to have good financial discipline. You need to be able to manage your finances. And once you learn how to manage your finances, I'm telling you, it makes a great big difference. It shows you how to build your wealth. It shows you how to have long-term stability. Good financial management. And here again, we're still talking about tax planning. So even with your good financial management and your tax planning, you should be planning right now your taxes for 2027, 2026. You should be planning your 2026 taxes for 2027. You should already have a system where you have a travel log, you're keeping up with your receipts. If you have a home office, if you have a business office, if you're buying equipment, your marketing tools, what type of marketing tools are you using? If you're using professional services, see, you can't track and deduct if you don't keep track of what you're doing. You have to make sure for your deductions, and you want to make sure you get all the deductions that you are entitled to. Your medical expenses, your mortgage interest, your charitable contributions. You need to make sure that you have good financial management, because this is what you want to do. You want to be able to invest. I just learned about investing this year. I've always wanted to invest. And so what I did is went to YouTube, started looking at some investment channels, and I'm just learning how to invest in different avenues. You don't have to invest a lot. As you know, the way the economy is set up right now, they're saying stocks is down. There's a young man that comes on and that I listen to, and he's telling us right now, because the stocks are down, don't run, don't be afraid. Now is a good time to buy because the stocks are down. Eventually, they will come back up. They will. So these are some tools that we can use to help build our wealth and build our finances, because we need these tools in order for us to survive. We have to survive. Here again, even with your emergency funding, look at your expenses between 3 and 6 months and try to focus on, okay, we bring home, let's say, for instance, you have 2 incomes. We bring home, between the both of us, about $6,000 a month. Our bills are about, let's say, $4,000 or $4,500. Okay, so the difference is what you have left over for that month. Now we realize now in the expenses, your tithes is included in your expenses. Now, the money that you have left over, that means you have to have groceries. You have to take care of your necessities. We understand that. So now, in order for you to be a wise steward and be a good financial manager over your wealth, you need to learn how to say, okay, if this is what we have left, we know we need an emergency fund. This is how we're going to structure between the leftover and what we need to survive for the remainder of the month until we get paid again. A lot of times people, now I know at the state is, I used to work with the state, and I'm telling you, I hated their pay system. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. I think like one time we get paid once a month, then we get paid twice a month. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. I hated the state's pay system. And if I didn't have somebody else to help me, I'm telling you, yeah. Whew, it was the worst. But here again, you have to learn how to take what you have and structure it. Everybody don't always know how to structure what they have. It's not that you don't have enough. It's that you don't know what to do with what you have. And this is what we do. We sit down. We show you how you can take what you have and still live comfortable, still be able to eat out, still be able to get your nails done, still be able to get haircuts and do some of the things that you're doing. It's just that it will be a decrease and an adjustment until you get a system that works for you. Because this is what we want to do. We want to get a system that works for us. And then once you get used to that system and it works for you, you can live like a king and a queen. And you be like, oh my goodness, I don't know why I didn't do this a long time ago. Now, of course, you should always have an emergency credit card. So you have a business credit card, and that's for your business. If you have businesses, if you're a pastor or a minister, you should have a credit card for your ministry, because this is all your expenses for your ministry. And then you should have an emergency credit card. So here again, your emergency funds should be where you can physically put your hands on them and touch them. The emergency credit card is just that. It's an emergency credit card. It's not for you going out getting gas to put in the car because you want to go, I don't know, to Virginia Beach and be with your friends. That's not an emergency. That's pleasure. An emergency is when something happens and you don't have access to the finances and you need to get it done right away. That's an emergency. And you should have an emergency credit card. And if it's 2 of you, both of you should have an emergency credit card. It could be the same card, Because as you know, we can add people to our cards. We can take people off our cards. That's another way you can build your funds and build your finances by adding other people to your credit cards, so you can build your credit worthiness, so the credit card that you use can have enough limit, so just in case something happens, you will have on the credit card what you need. And not only does it help with the credit limit, because it helps build the credit limit, but it also helps, say for instance, you have someone and they need to build their credit. You could add them to your credit card. You could add them, but you don't have to give them the card. You could just add them, and that will help them build what they need. If you have a spouse and the spouse's income is not enough for them to obtain a decent limit. I mean, $500. Well, right now, $500, I'm telling you, I paid over that today for just getting the repairs done to my vehicle. So $500 right now, that isn't going to get us very far. So you at least need, I would say, a credit card at least $2,500, at least $2,500, at least. This will allow you to be able to, if you have to have some type of emergency done to your car, or you have to stay somewhere or something like this, then at least you would have a decent limit that you don't have to worry about, well, do I have enough money on this card to even cover this? And so what we would do is, when we add other people to our cards, and that builds their credit, so they can build their limit, so they can have an emergency fund credit card to be able to have that card just in case something happens. See, we're all working together. We want to build together, but in building together, you still have to have good structure, good money management, and you still have to have discipline. Because the bottom line to everything is discipline. We can have the best business. We can have the best, all the credit cards in the world. We can have the best ideas, but you have to have great discipline. Because in order for these things to work, you have to know when, how, where, and why. Because there has to be a method to doing certain things that you do. You just can't just do things sporadically. I know a lot of our kids, they just boom. And not even our kids now. Some of us, even as adults, we just say, okay, I want it, I'm gonna get it, boom, I'm gonna get it. We have to change the way we think about things, change the way we're building our finances, change the way that we are looking at debts in our household. No, I'm not talking about your mother, your father, your sister. I'm talking about our household. Even in our building our businesses, we need to structure them the right way. We need to structure them because the business is the income that we want to use to be able to structure, to build other businesses, to be able to invest, to be able to have, maybe buy into other properties. I've been also looking into maybe looking at some properties, some Airbnbs, of real estate. What I'm basically getting at is, whatever you decide to do, which way you decide to go, do your homework, have a good plan, follow your plan, and stick to the budget. Because if you do this, you will have what you need to grow what you need, and you can build and build and build. No one knows everything. No one has all the answers. Like I said, I've gone out to different channels on YouTube, and I'm learning different avenues of how to invest. I'm learning different avenues of even looking at maybe buying some property. And, but I want to be sure whichever way I decide to go in building my business, because see, I'm still building my business, that I structure it the right way. I don't want to jump off a cliff. I want to be able to learn everything I need to learn, get with the people I need to get with, and understand what I need to understand. See, financial success, it starts with your knowledge, your discipline, and it starts with good planning. If you have good planning, if you have good knowledge, and here again, if you are disciplined, then you can build your business, you can build your ministry, you can even live according to your 9-to-5 job. But we have to have knowledge and good planning and good discipline. If you need us, we want to help you understand about your money, where your money is going, how to implement your money in different areas so your money can grow. Because your ultimate goal, I'm sure, is to keep the money moving and to keep it growing. And this is what our ultimate goal is, to show you how to keep your money growing, how to learn different avenues, learn different areas. But we need to know that we have to be dedicated and we have to stick to the plan. So even with everything that we have shared with you on tonight and everything that we have discussed with you on tonight, our goal is life plus financial wisdom with your faith plus encouragement equals building better business knowledge and understanding. And this is what we want you to do. And this is what we encourage you to do. To build better business knowledge and have a better understanding. We thank you for listening to us tonight. Subscribe if you like any of the information that we have presented to you. Here again, our business will be more than happy to help you in your financial management, in your money management, and showing you how to budget, showing you how to build your wealth, showing you how to build a better business. You can reach us at 804-240-4430 to make an appointment. And we are so grateful to all of you who listen. We hope that you will continue to grow a better business, a better life, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless you. Looking forward to seeing you on next Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you, and God bless you.